This is Module 2, Topic 1, and we're going to talk about identifying quality content for your online course. High quality content is easy to identify online if you have that literacy and that skill and knowledge. So we're going to talk about how to develop it and how to learn if you're not sure what makes quality content or what makes low quality content. So we'll start with high quality. And high quality content, one way you can tell is if it's from a trusted site. So websites like .net, .org, .gov, and .edu are usually sites you can trust because they are not for profit, which means no one is making money by people clicking on this website. However, if it's .com, that stands for commercial, which means that someone is probably getting paid and making money for that website and the number of clicks and ads they get on it. So you want to be really careful about that. That's not to say that all .com websites can't be trusted, but you have to use a lot more caution when proceeding. You also want to make sure that a website can have specific search criteria. I'm going to show you a website called Share My Lesson in a few minutes that is good for finding lesson plans for educators, and it's able to break down and search by keyword, phrase, grade level, all that great stuff. You also want to make sure it's got organized information and resources. If a website is unorganized or chaotic, that typically means it was created by someone with little to no experience and means you should probably be more cautious about using it with your students. Another good thing about quality content is that it aligns with learning goals and outcomes. Quality content doesn't just mean that it's factual and that it's from a trusted place. That means that it actually accomplishes the goals of the lesson. So we always want to think about backward design. That's where you start with your outcome or your goal and then you find an activity to go with it. If we start with the activity, a lot of times we can be distracted by what seems like a fun project or a fun lesson, but not aligned with the learning goals for our courses. You also want to make your content engaging and interactive. We're going to learn on the course website about Pear Deck, which is the Google extension for making your synchronous presentations interactive and fun for your students and give them some sense of ownership over their learning. Low quality content has many ads, so you can see I've included a picture here of a website that had lots of ads on there. And that's not to say, again, that every website with an ad is not trustworthy. You just have to use a little more discretion and a little more caution. But be careful, because if there are ads, there's an indication that someone, again, is making money. So the information may be more biased to receive clicks other than to educate people. Again, unorganized and chaotic, that just identifies that someone with little to no experience probably created it. You want to look for errors in content, format, and grammar. So if links don't lead to the correct web page, if it says this web page is unavailable, if there are typos, if there are factual errors, again, that really makes it low quality content and you do not want to give it to your students. Biased resources are also low quality content. We don't give our students opinions to learn from. We are supposed to present our students with facts and allow them to form their own opinions. So make sure that your content is not biased. Just because it's pretty and organized and has factual information does not mean that there's not bias included. So you have to be really careful and use that digital literacy. Also, make sure it's not overwhelming. If you send your students to read a website and the scroll bar on the right side is itty bitty, they're automatically discouraged because they know they have so much scrolling to do and reading of tiny font. It's better to send short articles that are broken down into multiple web pages so that it's in more digestible chunks. So we're going to look at an example of some quality websites that you could use for your online course, and this is one that I like. It's called sharemylesson.com. Again, it's a commercial site, but I do use it. And this is what we were talking about with specific search criteria. So you can search by keyword, grade level, subject, or resource type, and it can give you activities, articles, assessments, lesson plans, all kind of interesting stuff. And they're posted by other teachers, so you do need to be wary and careful because these are made by other people, but use that digital literacy we discussed and move forward with caution. This is the Smithsonian site. Everyone knows the Smithsonian, but I pulled it up to draw notice to this .edu. And then this is Discus. This is a site that we use more in early childhood, but again, I pulled it up to use .org, and you can look and see not a lot of ads are on here. It's geared for children. It's organized. It's easy to navigate. I mentioned Pear Deck earlier, that is for synchronous presentations. So we're going to take a look at how to do that. So you're going to go up here to extensions and add-ons. You won't have Pear Deck yet, so you will click add-ons and get add-ons. Generally it pops up at the top. It's pretty popular. If not, you will just search Pear Deck. And you'll click on Pear Deck for Google Slides and you'll download it, install it. It doesn't take but just a few seconds, and then when you come to extensions, you will have Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on. I'm going to click Open Pear Deck add-on. And as you see, it pulled up a new panel over here to the right. Now, Pear Deck is really fun and interesting because you can add interactive questions into your presentations. So we're going to add a new slide, and we're going to type a question. What is your favorite food? Then we can add a way for students to answer, so you could use multiple choice if you had choices you wanted your students to choose from. You could add draw and have students draw their favorite foods. You could even insert pictures of foods and add a draggable where students would drag the dot onto their favorite food. So how that would work is you would click next, it would give you a dot, and it shows students will drag the icon. You have to leave this here. If you delete this, it will delete your slides. You can also add audio. So Pear Deck is a really fun way to have students interact with your presentations in real time. You even have the capability to control what slide they're looking at so that students can't click ahead of you and answer all the questions at one time. So these are some ways that you can create high quality content for your courses and identify high quality content as well.